Welcome to CPG Vibes. No script, just chat. We talk all things food and beverage and so much more. Feel our vibe and search for CPG Vibes on Apple Podcast or Spotify, and make sure to give us a 5-star review. If you'd like to sponsor our show with your product or service or be a guest, email us at cpgvibes100@gmail.com. Now your hosts, me, Alex Baer with Genius Juice, and Wade Yenny. All right, welcome to episode 104 of CPG Vibes. We're here on a beautiful Friday afternoon. It's obviously, we both got the memo to wear gray and black today. This kind of fits the mood, right? We're more in a calm, just kind of under the radar type of mood. At least I am. Wade, how are you feeling?
Doing all right. It's a little gray outside today, a little rainy, kind of coldish. Doing all right. It's been a long week. How about you?
As long as your week, pretty much, maybe even longer, who knows? But yeah, it's going to be raining here in a couple days, and we're in Southern California, so maybe hence that's why we're dressed the way we are. We know the weather is going to be a little bit cloudy, a little bit cold. So we're going to go through just some of the laundry list items here. Number one, this one big thing that I know you're harping on, Wade, is that when we create the event on LinkedIn Live, you can actually comment I guess we call it pre-questions. Is that going to be the official word for it?
Sure.
So you can do pre-questions before we actually launch this episode live at 2:30 Pacific time. So Wade, is that pretty accurate?
It's 100% accurate.
Okay, good. So we're going to shout everyone out here. We got a lot of comments already pouring in. Looks like they're definitely responding to your comment to throw in some comments here. So make sure if you'd like to sponsor our show, there we go, right at the bottom, sponsor or be a guest, cpgvibes100@gmail.com. And speaking of that, our sponsor for this week, we have an ongoing and we have this week's sponsor. So this week's sponsor is Better Sour, and they just launched, as far as I know, I'm seeing it in stores in Sprouts nationally, and their new innovation set. We'll talk to you more about that. Bella Hughes is one of the co-founders, and we also have Samira, who also is part of the company, I believe the other co-founder. And so it's a healthy for you sour treat, and they're award-winning and started by two friends, lifelong friends from Hawaii. So, and no artificial colors, only 60 calories. Think of it as really that childhood sour candy you like, but much cleaner, much healthier. So we'll talk more about them. And then also our ongoing sponsor is V Driven. So V Driven is a CPG consulting agency. They do everything from sales, I would call master sales nationally, to trade spend deductions, to accounting, to advising on starting a new product, from ideation to execution to getting it on a store shelf. Luke Abbott is the CEO and founder, and he is absolutely amazing. So his email is Luke, Luke, right? .Abbott, ABBOTT @VDriven.com.
It's almost like I read your mind there. You see how I did that?
Boom. It's like,
it's
AI. It's AI. Like you knew what was going on, and
chat GPT, just like that.
Yeah. Wade GPT right here. I just think it, and then you post it. That's how advanced. With some of the new funding we've gotten from sponsorships, Wade has an AI, an AI platform going on his computer, and his head is wired to it. So he knows what's going on.
It's not a bad idea.
Sometimes we need some AI when the regular eye goes out the window, right? From a long week, right?
Right.
What's crazy is there's actually OpenAI just posted a new program. I can't remember what it's called. Have you seen this? Where you can type in and it's by text. You can say um, seagulls that are flying over a
I have seen that.
mountain,
I have
and
seen
then
that.
in the mountain there's lava coming out of out of a volcano, exploding as the seagulls or the birds are going over them. You can type that in, and it will do a AI rendered image that looks real. It's
And
crazy.
yeah, I've seen that, and I'm starting to see. I don't know if you've seen this yet on LinkedIn. Like sometimes there'll be like a little. I'm not a premium. I have not committed to paying that monthly yet. I've got enough monthly things I pay, but there's a little thing over there, and if you hover, it'll kind of summarize the art of the post or something. It's not on every single one, but
Right.
I've seen it a couple times today. It was pretty cool.
Okay, I got to check that out. I have not seen that in detail. Um, that's cool. Yeah, I think it's just getting more and more advanced. I mean, I thought it was just text. Now it's video. And then apparently there's also a packaging design AI where you can
Hmm.
say, I want a bottle that's 10 ounces for kombucha, and the brand is called this. Please make an image on packaging. And so, like, there's founders that are going to AI to create their own packaging versus going to like an agency to get ideas.
It's
So
insane.
it's heading in this direction that yeah, I don't even think Elon Musk envisioned. Maybe he did.
I've really
Um,
enjoyed the. I've seen a lot of the musicians who are deceased, but then they have them do cover songs of a current song or something.
yeah.
That's kind of creepy, but very cool, very cool.
Yeah, yeah, I saw one of those like in black and white. The other one that because with the Super Bowl, right? That was last Sunday, right? And the Chiefs won, right? For all those for the 130 million people that watched it, that know already. There was this commercial. I'm not getting political or anything, but just of Joe Biden
Mhm.
talking about shrinkflation. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so I when I saw it, it was like a Super Bowl commercial. I was like, "Is that AI or is that actually him?" I couldn't because there was rumors, like, would he actually come out and say this during the Super Bowl or as a commercial? And a lot of people, like millions, thought it was AI, right?
right.
Like when he was blinking, I'm like, "Is that him really blinking or is that AI?" It's like that's how crazy it's getting. Like we're second guessing, is it real or not? And it's becoming so real that you can't tell the difference. I saw like a video with Brad Pitt. I'm like, that looks real. And it wasn't actually him from like when he was 20 years old. Right. So anyway, rabbit hole of AI. We can,
Well,
this is not AI vibes,
speaking of
CPG vibes
Super Bowl, Kenny mentioned seeing the Poppy commercial.
yeah,
It was good to see that, and
for sure.
I I'm not going to share results yet, but I will say that in the 3 days post Super Bowl, I personally witnessed a pretty significant uptick in the brand sales. So I'm excited to see if how that continues, if it continues. But good for them. It was certainly a huge audience for him. So
Absolutely. Yeah. So they did like, I think a 1 minute, was it a 30-second or a 1 minute spot in the middle of the Super Bowl? And it was a great game. It was a close
yeah,
game. So that had even more viewers watching it. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's just the growth of prebiotic, probiotic sodas that are better for you sodas is hitting such a large scale. It's insane. And there was not to one up you, but I kind of will. There was a post on LinkedIn, or it went up in Kenny Hausman, I guess, but there was a post where David Lester, right, the co-founder of Olipop, said, "We are right behind Coke and this major retailer in thousands of stores. We're right behind Coke and Diet Coke,
I did see that. I did
like
see that.
they're third, and they were above."
The only thing I will say about that, and hey, all the credit in the world. We know it's a fabulous
Right.
brand, and they're selling tons of product. Um, I assume that the Coke was Coke Classic, Diet Coke was Diet Coke. Olipop wasn't a specific flavor. It was just kind of like
The
the
whole thing.
brand. And
Yeah.
then underneath it, further down the list, you saw
Dr. Pepper and
Diet Pepsi and all that stuff. But Olipop was kind of, I assume, just irregardless. It's a fabulous story, and it's amazing to see the national attention. Be it
mhm.
its Super Bowl commercial, be it in sales and numbers and whatnot with Olipop. It's fantastic. So.
It is for sure. Couldn't have said it
Oh,
better
they're
myself.
Rich. Rich helped me out. They were showing individual brands. So the Coke brand across the board, Diet Coke brand across the board. Thanks, Rich. That
Right.
helps.
So basically, Coke is just classic Coke. Diet Coke is just Diet Coke, right?
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
that one
As a
SKU
as a brand. As a brand.
as a brand. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So it probably included maybe Cherry Coke and some other ones. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where.
Good stuff.
So yeah, some shout outs here, and then we'll get into the news wire. It's a new feature we have here in CPG. But some comments. We have Rich Moniz. I don't want to spill this all over my computer, but the Rich Insights Tumblr, using that every single day. Thank you, Rich, for sending that. And he said, "Happy Friday, everyone. R.I.P. Bob." This is Bob Moore, the founder of Bob's Red Mill. I'm a huge fan and user of your products. It's nice to have them so widely distributed. We'll talk more about that of Bob Moore's passing at 94 years old. Lived a full, great life, and we'll reminisce about. I've had experiences with him.
I had to downgrade the plastic because I think my wife has the tumbler today, so I can't show my Rich Insights, but I'll show
Poor
my
insights.
I'll
Poor
show
insights.
my Suja. Yes,
Suja. Yeah. So all right. Well, at least it's branded. So Don Tolk, happy Friday, everyone. Kenny Hausman, happy Friday. Where's Gavin Conkle? I'm asking myself the same thing. Luis Alberto, saw you last week and you're back. Thanks, my man, for coming back to the show. Happy Friday. And we have Namik Sultan. So, and hello, friends. Dimararu again. And obviously, we have Better Sour, which we mentioned as our sponsor for this week. Tom Jacobson is going to be joining us at 3 p.m. I see him in the green room now, warming up, doing some squats, doing some lifts, getting ready, combing his beard, all those things. So we'll bring him on in about 10 to 15 minutes to talk about Better Sour. And he's also with Pod Foods, which is a great distributor that's now national, that services Sprouts and many other stores. I don't want to misspeak, and I'll let him talk about that and not me. So we have Sean Berg. Happy Friday. A lot of happy Fridays. Gavin, there he is. Gavin sighting.
Gavin is here.
Not GQ, but GK, right?
That's right.
And today is a good day. Jonathan Diaz. It was great to see the Poppy commercial. Super Bowl commercials were pretty weak from Gavin Conkle. These are the comments we're running through. Rich Moniz, our Canadian ones are always weak. John Diaz was a great investment for the Super Bowl spot. Poppy. And yeah, there's a lot of comments. This is great.
Yes.
David Delcourt, crazy. Hey, y'all. Still impressive. Rich Moniz. And we have Kenny Hausman, RIP Bob Moore. It's a true leader of the industry. So some updates. First off, we just want to really deeply thank everyone for getting us to the number one spot. I know we broke the news last week that we hit the number one spot. We had to surpass 168 ratings. So we're the number one rated CPG podcast in North America. But we went from, Wade, this is awesome, crazy, and awesome.
Almost doubled, right? Almost doubled. So real quick, before you finish that, for those of you that haven't given us 5 stars yet, you can go to the link that's in the chat right there, copy, paste, and it doesn't cost anything. Just simply hit that 5 star. You don't have to type anything. If you're so inclined, you can do so. But all we're looking for is to get those ratings up. It gives us the algorithms. It's all that good stuff that keeps us up there and keeps us out in front of everybody. So it's really takes literally about 15 seconds to do. So
100%. So there's a link, and also through Apple Podcast. And so we were hovering around 123 2 weeks ago, and now we're at 215. It's like, holy crap, holy shit. I'm gonna swear. It's a holy shit moment.
Well, so. And I love the stories too, and I know I shared one with you, but I don't know if I shared the second one with you. So Jim Clapp, who was on our buyer episode it's been quite a few episodes ago back, along with Gavin and Kenny, sent me a picture, another trade show that he was at with someone, and someone called him out and recognized him from being on the show. So it was really, really cool. That's happened to him twice now.
Love it.
Just pretty crazy.
Love it. People are getting a little bit famous from our show, more famous than they already are, which is cool. Exactly. Love to hear that. Yeah. And that's really what we're about. It goes back to, we've said this till we're blue in the face, but we're here for you guys and gals to support the community, to give more exposure to your brand, get the word out about your brand, your product, your services, if you're a consultant or a brand owner. and also to connect each other so we can help each other in such a difficult industry, right, of CPG. So, and as we get closer to Expo West, we're going to be networking even more and helping each other even more, and then connecting at the show, obviously. So we're here for you, and we thank you for just everything, all your support.
I like to
And
think, Alex. I was going to say, I like to think too that I echo what you just said, but also that it's the community show, right? I mean, it's their show. So if there's something you want
yep,
to talk about, that's what topics, something you need help with.
100%.
We've seen it happen several times in recent episodes where somebody was looking for something or needed help with something, and we solved a problem right here in the chat. So
Hmm.
that's what's special about the show, and special about our audience. We really like that. So.
Exactly. We're like the LinkedIn live Slack,
It's
where
like
it's
a
just,
big
yeah,
dysfunctional family reunion every Friday, right?
exactly, exactly. So some things that hit the news wire, right? First off, Bob Moore passing away at the age of 94. He is the was the founder, original founder, and still deeply involved with Bob's Red Mill. And I will say that you know, brings a smile to my face because I would see him at every single Expo West. He would be at the booth taking pictures with people. He'd wear the red vest with the button. He have the hat on, the red hat, like just like how he looks like on all of his packaging. And at the Bear household, we're just huge fans. I have his almond flour in my pantry. I have the baking soda in the pantry. I have the oatmeal in the pantry. So I'm not only a big fan of who he was as an entrepreneur and a leader in the industry, but his product is also fantastic and still growing to this day, 30 plus years later, almost 40 years later. So I remember in 2014, the first year I attended Expo West, and probably the 20th year for you attending Expo West.
Not quite.
Um, yeah, it's a little jab there. But I saw him at a booth at the Bob's Red Mill booth in the main hall, took a picture with him. And then before I left, he's like, "Hey, come here." He's like, because I told him it was my first show. He's like, "Come here. Let me tell you one thing. Don't eat everything. You'll get sick." And then he's like, "Take care." So that was my memory of him, and that's what stood out to me. So love that guy, and I'm sure a lot of people have fond memories of him.
Here's a solution or that we can help someone with. David Delcourt uh, is looking for help. He just lost his badge for Expo West. He's asking if
Mm,
anyone has a spare. That he'd be happy to lend a hand, send a massive gift pack,
okay.
etc. So if anybody out there listening,
Mm,
currently or later, has something they can help with Mr. Delcourt with, that'd be awesome.
100%.
So yeah.
Well, I'm listening, and so I would say, David, shoot me over an email, Alex at geniusjuice and .com. And I know my wife, she's going to be there, right, with a group, and she has a company. So I believe we might have a spare badge, possibly. We just registered, so reach out to me. There you go.
There you go.
Instantaneous. Just pay me in mac and cheese, vegan mac and cheese, and I'll be good, as you said. All right, so that's that, and then Gavin Conkle. Yep, one of the most trusted brands in natural organic. So with Bob, how much have you? I mean, I'm sure have you met him in the past? Tell me any kind of Bob
Yeah,
stories that you have.
yeah. I don't really have any stories aside from meeting him. Obviously, it was always a kind of a big deal at the show to see him. And my earliest memories, not so much of him, but just the brand back in conventional days. I mean, we certainly did some specialty food, and those one of the core representations we had in specialty in natural in the conventional world is we had a very good selection of Bob's Red Mill. So I think that speaks about the longevity of the brand as well as the appeal of the brand, right? I mean, this is going back. I've been in corporate now for 20 years, so this is going back longer than that, and it's been
Hmm.
in conventional that I don't even know how long it's been in conventional, but we always had really strong representation of Bob's there. So uh, what, quite the legacy, no question.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't even say enough. It wouldn't fit into the show about how it's 100% employee owned, right? after so many years, and then so much growth, new innovations, stood the test of time. Just a wonderful human being. And to me, just again, can't really say enough, and hard to put in words. But I think as far as being an entrepreneur, right, for all the younger entrepreneurs, the ones that are starting your business or building your business, he is to me the gold standard of how to run and grow a business and also treat your employees. Period.
Well said.
Yishi, switching gears from Bob Moore to Yishi. So Yishi released a new pancake mix, which launched. I think it's going to be a national launch. I saw them in some natural stores out here in California. For those that don't know Yishi, I'm sure, yeah, Wade's looking up the address for that. The website, I can tell. I know you're multitasking. I can see it in your eyes. So she has a Asian-inspired oatmeal, like boba, matcha, and other flavorings and flavors.
Ube mochi, matcha
Mochi.
coconut, classic
Yep.
coconut. Yeah, looks like good stuff.
Yeah, I got her the matcha one, which I've never had oatmeal with matcha, and it's fantastic. I mean, the texture is great, and it's out of this world. And so now she has a pancake mix, which has some of those Asian-inspired flavors to it. Other big news before we bring on our sponsor here, a couple more minutes, is Rind, the dried fruit snack Rind, acquired a new company and vertically integrates. And the company, because we don't prepare for anything, is Small Batch Organics,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so yes, Small Batch Organics has a production facility and they make certain items, and now Rind is going to fully integrate, and again, don't know the details, but vertically integrate with Small Batch Organics. So that was a strategic acquisition. Anything else on that? Because I'm a little bit sketchy on details.
I put a link there if anyone's interested in reading the news release. It's right there. So
boom. What else? And then this is another really fun one to talk about. Dude
This
Wipes.
is what I was talking about last week, right?
Yeah. So why don't you take this one?
Well, I was going to say I did not see the actual release where they announced the winner. Did Dude Wipes announce it?
They did? Yeah, I saw Sean Riley announced it.
I missed it. So we talked about this last week where Liquid Death ran was it largest ad ever or something? I forget what they called it. But basically we're auctioning off on eBay to put whoever won the auction would get to put on a panel of their canned water the logo or the ad or whatever it was from the winner, and evidently Dude Wipes won. So I think they were going to do the minimum is 500,000 cases, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and with the possibility that they would potentially do more depending on things. So yeah, the winning bid was, what was it,
$355,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think it was at like 90 or 100 last week when we were talking about it. Yeah, it goes on the side of the box, right? And then 500,000 units or whatever. And Sean Riley, Dude Wipes. It's crazy. I mean,
there was some back and forth with the folks at Dano's as well, which was kind of
that's right. Yeah, Dano's was in the lead, right, at one point.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, it's like Dano's. Yeah, and then so I think that would be fun. I think either brand is going to win because they're kind of goofy, and they fit into the Liquid Death kind of arsenal. And then also Liquid Death came out with a new product line, which is called Death Dust, an electrolyte powder that is kind of competing with Liquid IV Death Dust. And do you see their commercial?
I did.
Yeah.
Those guys just hit a home run with all their campaigns. It's just amazing.
Just brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So cool. And then the last thing is Guru. Before we bring on, we have Tom and also Samira will be joining us as well from Better Sour for about 3-4 minutes here. And Guru Energy landed in Costco SoPac. So Wade, when you're out, next time you're on the West Coast, just send back a pallet of it from Costco to your house.
There you go.
Yeah, just a direct wire over to Costco.
Yeah, that's big news. Congratulations, Dima. That was quite the land, and looking forward to. Yeah. I'm sure it's going to do great.
They're a 25-year-old brand, and they're still growing, still aggressive, still getting into more retailers. They took it slow and steady wins the race, right?
That's exactly right.
The Guru Tortoise. That's their new nickname. So, okay, well, let's bring on, we have Tom Jacobson with Pod Foods, and we also have Samira. And again, we don't prepare for anything on the show. Niku, I'm probably mispronouncing your last name, but you can do a better job of pronouncing your own last name than I can. And so we're going to bring him on, and she's with Better Sour, one of the co-founders. So we'll put some music on here, do our little guest music, and we'll bring him on right now. Welcome to our show.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Hi, thank you for having us. Honored to be on the #1 CPG podcast in North America.
We're honored to have you as a sponsor of the #1 rated CPG podcast. So welcome.
Yeah. So your last name, how close was I?
You were actually on point, Alex. That rarely happens. So thank you.
Wow. Okay. I remember, Wade, we were talking about this on the show. I have a hidden talent of pronouncing last names that I'm seeing for the first time. So, boom.
Yes, I don't know how you do it, but you do a great job.
Yeah, but it's funny where I'm gonna. This is really, I don't want to steal any thunder, but I also have been accused of mispronouncing my own name, which is ironic, because my last name is Bear. But then when I talk to European people, they're like, "You mean Bayer, right?" So I can pronounce every last name except my own. Okay, I'll stop blabbing. So let's go into it again. We don't prepare for really anything on the show, right? This is literally, they're coming on here. We didn't brief them at all. We didn't say, here, let's talk about this or that. We're just going to give an open forum where you can talk about Better Sour. You can talk about Pod Foods, which I'm a huge fan of Pod Foods. And we'll open up the floor, and then there's going to be some questions. But I want to start with the fact that I saw Better Sour at Sprouts, and I saw it at the innovation set as well. So like, it's such an interesting product, and in an age-old category that has been around in 7-Elevens for 20, 30 years, all the Sour Patch Kids and all that. So like, how's it going with the brand? And like, I guess, where did the idea come from?
Well, I'm very excited that you saw it at Sprouts, and this is an opportunity for me to sing Pod Foods' praise, and Tom specifically, who we work closely with. A good example of how, as a young brand, you have such limited leverage, but finding those right partners that not only believe in the brand but are advocates. I mean, that's a big reason how we got into Sprouts, because of Pod Foods pitching us relentlessly. So we owe them a big thanks for that. And we just saw white space. My co-founder Bella and I, we're lifelong best friends. We are Iranian Americans from Hawaii. It's a lot going on, but what really unites us is this love of flavor sour. Iranian food is super sour forward. You have a lot of tropical fruits that are tart and sour in Hawaii. And we just saw that gap in candy where the flavors are still very Western centric. And the sour is very much like a shock and awe, where you have that intense sour coating and a sweet candy, especially in gummies. So we grew up with a lot of tart and fresh fruit flavors that are this long, nice, balanced sour. So we saw it, you start with this thesis. We thought our gut, like there is a need, there's a gap here. And so far, after launching in May in Erewhon, and again, Pod Foods being our distributor there and Foxtrot early accounts, our data was really great. So now we're at 1,500 doors and counting.
It's amazing.
Very cool. And let's flip it to the to the Pod Food side just for like a minute or two. It's so interesting because and I have to be kind of careful with my words here, but you know where I'm going with this, that there's been a lot of backlash or a lot of concerns with the large national distributors, right, that are out there, and they service many stores and they have big coverage. And I think there needed to be a disruptor that came onto the scene, right? Needless to say, to do business differently without all the too many chargebacks and, things that can crush margins and all these things, these surprise charges. So I think Pod Foods is basically that challenger brand and company that's doing that. And I've spoken to others that are with Pod Foods, and that's exactly what they've experienced. So how has that been, like, where, you're basically needing to expand nationally and do national coverage? And how has that been with that level of growth to handle what other national distributors are doing? So tell us more. And that's for Tom.
Yeah. So it's just a different approach for brands. It's an alternative distribution solution, basically. So at this point, we're working with Sprouts, we're working with Fresh Time, we're working with some other regional accounts like Foxtrot, Erewhon, Bristol Farms. So, we don't have access to all the doors that a Unifier KE might have, but we do have national coverage. And it's just a way for brands to get on the innovation set and get on that innovation set quickly and in a really seamless way. So it's just really providing a secondary route to market for a lot of early stage, mid stage brands.
Yeah, 100%. And we just had a comment from Saria, the Sarah Stender Delaney, her brand. And I think it's cool that the stars align there. We only have a couple minutes that brands need to get in quickly to Sprouts. It's like a big rollout, but these are smaller brands that are emerging that may not be able to swing some of the challenges of large national distributors. I think Pod Foods kind of fills in that gap quite nicely because it seems like from running Genius for 11 years, you have either local DSD or big national, and I feel you're kind of in the middle there.
Yeah, it's a nice way to bridge the gap. If you're not quite ready for a Unifier KE and maybe you're just starting out with Erewhon or something like that, it's a good way to do that without jumping into the big distributors. And, our model is very transparent. It's a much different approach. But it really supports brands in a really great way. And Better Sour is a really good example of that. We started working together, 2 years ago, Samira?
God,
And I
no, a year ago. We only launched last year.
Yeah, so it's been like baby steps with them, Erewhon and then Foxtrot and then Sprouts and some other accounts coming up. So they're a really good example of, how brands grow with us and how we support brands getting into new accounts as well.
And I will add that Pod Foods has a great data platform. So especially when you're small, like Bella and I, we started as just the two of us, have limited resources and time for tracking inventory and orders. So it made things a lot easier for us.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of brands on here. I mean, there's some larger brands that tune into this, but I think most are kind of in that just starting or sub 10 million spot, right? Or even higher that are emerging and looking for that type of distribution. And I could just say that, when we started 10 years ago, we wish we had something like Pod Foods, right? So I'm glad you guys came on the scene. You're helping emerging brands. And I will say, not to get too controversial, that this chargeback system with some of these larger guys needs to change. I think the model is very challenging for a lot of brands to make money and have strong margins. So hopefully they feel more and more pressure from other distributors that are doing business a different way, and they'll change their ways more, right? Because I think as we keep going, they're going to have to change, right? So
exactly, and
I'll leave it there.
Really why Pod Foods was started in the first place, was to build a model for that exact reason, to support emerging brands at this stage and be a much more transparent fee structure.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sponsoring our episode 104, and we'll make sure to mention both companies again at the later in the episode. But thank you again for being on and supporting our show.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you both. And for those of you listening right now,
how to go to the website, right?
We are going to be giving away, thanks to Better Sour, a 10-pack for each flavor later in the show. So make sure you stay tuned for that and get a chance to taste those awesome flavors. They look fantastic. So
first one is on them. Second one, you go to Sprouts and buy it.
We want to get you hooked. Or the Fresh Market, recently launched.
There you go.
The Fresh Market too. There you go.
There's a plug.
All right.
There's a plug.
There it is. And then bettersour.com.
Yes, or at Eat Better Sour.
Okay. And then podfoods.co.
Podfoods.co.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you guys and gal, and take good care.
Yeah, have a good weekend, guys. Thank you.
Thanks. You too.
Okay. All right. Back to our scheduled program. I know there was a question here from Dan Barnes, so you can actually reach out to Tom in a direct message here on LinkedIn and ask him. But the question was, want to know how you explain Pod Foods model to the brands using the broad line approach.
I think he kind of explained a little bit earlier.
Yeah, got to
for
that.
the most part.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. Again, no script, just chat, right? About when you go into a Sprouts and that innovation set just continues to grow. And I see items in there. I don't know about you, but I see items in there that I'm constantly picking up. And I think like the biggest thing is that those brands have 3 months to prove themselves in that innovation set for those that have not been in Sprouts yet. And if you are in the top certain percentage of sales in that innovation set, then you go over to the main set. And I've seen a lot of brands cross over, but it's competitive. There's a lot of brands in one place. So just make sure you're kicking ass and you have great packaging and you really stand out on that shelf.
I was going to say, most importantly, make sure you're ready for it.
And ready.
If you get it, before you knock on the door, make sure you're ready to expand, regardless if it's the innovation set or not, right? Because once you're there, you want to perform. So crawl, walk, run, be ready. But the speed that they can execute is certainly admirable. That the whole program. It's I know when I'm out doing my shops and checking the market out, I always make sure I pop around and see what they've got. And a lot of times you already know based on some feedback or some posts or announcements you've seen here. So it's always good to check out and see what's new.
Yeah. Anything of major interest that you've seen recently or like, wow. Well, the Papadelics made it to Sprouts. You like that brand?
I was gonna say I had that on an episode a while back, right? But I haven't lately. It's been a couple weeks since I've been out there, so I probably need to get back out again.
Yeah, got to get your shrooming on.
Yeah, exactly.
And go to a concert. Go to a just some trippy concert. No, Papadelics is like just a mushroom brand. It's like normal mushroom, like I think shiitake or one of those, and then they I think air fry it or make it crunchy. They put seasonings on it. Yeah, there's a lot of also what's cool is like GT is still coming out with new flavors. So I'll do that in the stuff we love, which is coming up soon. But this is their new blood orange flavor, which just came out. So that's pretty cool. So wanted to switch gears also to Expo West, right? We want to get back to that. We really appreciate, we got a lot of outreach, Wade, with people that potentially could help us with the booth. We're still planning things out and seeing where that will go. But as granted that if we do continue to plan to have the live show, it would be on Thursday, 2:30, somewhere in the North Hall. We have a few booths where that offered us spots, so we really appreciate that support. And we're going to get back to you quickly in the next week or two. I would say the next week or so on what the plan is for that. But essentially, we're going to announce what booth number. We're going to announce the location. It's going to be very likely North Hall because there's no connection. Like a lot of halls don't even have like internet connection. It's crazy because of how many people are there. And if you'd like to pop by while we're doing the show, we can pull you in. Just be like, oh, there's Gavin Conkle. Yeah, fine. Come here. And we'll bring him on the show and just have him talk. And we'll have headphones. We'll have a plug-in, and we'll bring you right on as a live guest. So we're excited about that, and it's kind of a first for us to do it that way. Last year was a little more kind of makeshift. We had the computer. We were holding the computer and doing a selfie.
We'll have to figure it out a little bit better this year. But regardless, we'll announce the details as we get them ironed out. But I think a good portion of those listening or watching, whatever you want to call it, are going to be there. So we look forward to seeing everybody in person. Doesn't always happen. Maybe a couple times a year. So it'll be nice to connect with everyone up close and personal. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And Startup CPG, they're having their Bolorama. Likely, we'll be there. I'll be making an appearance there. And then there's a lot of people that have been wanting to meet up in person. So we'll see you there. I would say let's go to, and again, make sure to stay glued on that monitor, right? Or phone or whatever, however you're watching us or listening, because we are going to be giving away a 10-pack of the Better Sour.
Not
which
one,
is
two.
two.
One of each flavor.
Oh, wow. So 2 10-packs, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yep. One of each flavor. There's 2 flavors. So
okay. So you were talking 20, right?
Yeah.
So 20 to 1 winner. Wow. You're going to have enough to last you at least through Expo West, maybe even the rest of this year. So, so make sure to stay tuned. We're going to be asking a trivia question. At the very end, someone will win that prize. So make sure to stick around another 5 or 10 minutes. So let's go. Go ahead. Yep.
There's a good question here.
Sure.
And please chime in to answer this on your opinion. Alex, I'll ask you this. So
Sure.
This is Waleed's first time attending Expo West. He's just walking the show. Is it worth attending every day, or are there 1-2 days that are the prime days? So Alex, how would you answer that?
I mean, if you want to burn out and feel really tired and have 30 different types of foods and beverages in your stomach, then you can attend every day. But realistically, 2 days. I like Wednesday because that's the first day that the North Hall is open and the main hall is not open. So it's a little more intimate, not as crazy. There's only one building open, and the parking's easier since the main hall is not open yet. So Wednesday for sure. And Allison Kane just echoed that. Also we have, and she's from Haven's Kitchen, and she has a new product coming out too.
Yes.
So Thursday would be the second day, because Thursday all the halls open. When it starts getting later and later, the ratio of buyers to people just wanting samples and service suppliers kind of like it goes from a buyers and it goes down and down and down and down. And as you get to Friday, Saturday, there's it's almost non-existent. So I would say to catch the buyers, to catch investors, to have your meetings Wednesday, Thursday.
So coincidentally, my travel plans are I arrive in California on Tuesday, and I'll be at the show Wednesday and Thursday, and I fly out on Friday. So that's just
beautiful.
Echoes what once again what Alex said. It's that for me, the majority of my team will be there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and fly back Saturday. But for me, I'm good with 2 days. That'll be plenty. So
it's enough. Because you just get tired and fatigued and so much talking and seeing people, and there's a lot of energy. And we also, for brand owners that are not exhibiting, we have a business to run too. So you want to Friday, get back out, get back in the office, get out in the field and take care of your brand. So another reason not to go more than 2 days. Let's go to stuff we love, and then we'll go into our trivia question for this week's sponsor, which is Better Sour. So stuff we love. And Wade.
Well, I had to scramble for something that was in my cupboard because I was just I worked a little bit and I only had a minute to get this ready. But
Pop chips.
I love these guys, and I just crushed a bag. I'm actually surprised this one hasn't been opened yet, but I just crushed a bag of these earlier this week, and have another bag in there. We buy those all the time. Love that brand, and I know you've obviously had it. Are you a fan?
I like it, but not an enormous fan. I'm not a big chip fan.
Oh, we're snackers here. There's always pretzels, there's chips, there's all that stuff. So yeah, you're a better guy than I am in that regard.
Yeah, my guilty pleasure is the Barnana, the scoops, the new scoops, and I got it in my cupboard. But I just like Lesser Evil, the puffs. I like Mark's brand, the crisps, the new I1.
Those are
phenomenal.
Delicious. Those are
delicious. Best fucking line he's ever come out with. I mean, no, not downplaying his other lines and the puffs and the sticks, but doesn't really compare to the crisps.
I showed those before, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I was going to say I definitely can't show those because those are gone.
Gone.
We don't have them yet. We'll have them soon. So
yeah, you had the sea salt and vinegar one, I believe.
No, I think it was
sour cream.
It might have been sour cream. It wasn't the sea. I'm not a sea salt and vinegar guy. I might have had them. Maybe I might have had them here for Renee. It's possible. Who knows? They're gone now.
Boom.
Yep.
So mine is as mentioned is this is a new flavor that just hit Whole Foods yesterday. I mean, blood orange GT kombucha. It's fantastic.
So is that an everyday or is that a seasonal?
I think it's an everyday. Yeah, the seasonals are kind of like special decorative labels. This seems like a permanent one.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Nice.
The other one I want to share that we haven't really shared is the Mountain Valley spring water. This is just a phenomenal.
It's a great.
Glass.
I know we sold cases of that at Jimbo's while I was there, and it does well here as well. They've had some supply issues as far as some out of stocks and things.
It's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is as long as you don't lose your shelf life. But, right? I mean, it depends on how long you're out.
That's the category management side coming out.
I was
right
going to
there.
say, it depends on how long you're there.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great brand. And I know it was funny because I wasn't that familiar with the brand when I arrived in California, but I learned about them real quick.
Yeah.
And like, people are paying, I don't know what the price was for a case of this. Like, people are paying that. I'm coming from conventional and, $3.99 for a 24 pack of plastic, working for a retailer that is the home of the plastic free water aisle, or that happened while I was there. But I'm scratching my head thinking there's no way people are paying this for it. Well, it was my indoctrination to California was
right, natural.
Money's a little bit more
San Diego.
a little bit more prevalent, and they can carry one of those around instead of 10-cent half-liter bottle of IGA water or something. So it's
IGA. I don't even know what IGA is.
Yeah, it's a great brand.
Yeah, let me take a quick swig. Yeah, I like how the other one that I really like is called Castle Rock water. That's another one that the unfortunate thing is it doesn't fit in a cup holder. It's too wide. So what I like about these, I mean, this is the large one, but they have a smaller one that fits into a cup holder pretty easily. But for me, it's really just the water. The water just tastes phenomenal. And it's smooth, and you feel good after you drink it. You can reuse the bottle, and it's high quality. So I mean, the packaging, it's really funny. I like to talk about these things, but simplistic packaging. I mean, it's a green bottle, so that's their kind of brand blocking, right? The green,
right?
Because of the the Mountain Valley and the nature, and red, green and red, and then they have a sparkling. The other thing, again, I got to take a swig. I got protein.
I was going to ask you if you were a spring or sparkling guy, so obviously you're a spring guy, huh?
Spring guy, but what pisses me off, and I'm saying that with a capital P, is when you buy one thinking it's still, and it's actually sparkling. And like they don't differentiate it enough,
right?
And so you get confused. I don't know if you ever had that experience, but it happens all the time to me.
No, I'm
pretty weird about shelf stuff, and I miss things pretty easily. I'm
a sparkling guy. I think I mentioned forever ago that we bought a Soda Stream, and we use that a lot. We always have sparkling here, so it's that's my preference. But I obviously drink a lot of still as well. But Mountain Valley, and their flavors are fantastic too. I don't know if you've had any of the flavors. No,
I'm just a straight up water guy. I've had their sparkling, but I can't chug the sparkling. That's my only issue, you know. Right. But to each his own, right? I respect you, Wade. I respect your sparkling preference. Mm-hmm. All right. See, you got more fancy after coming out here, right? You want to
exactly. I'm foo-foo. I brought it back with me. So yeah. Rich says that eye tracking would catch that issue of the sparkling and the still.
Yeah, I think the one that gives me problems is Castle Rock. This one's pretty clear for Mountain Valley, but for Castle Rock, I've bought so many times they're sparkling, and I'm walking, I walk out and it's like in my hand, and then I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for this water. And then like it explodes, right? I'm like, holy shit, it was sparkling.
Right.
But I love Olipop and more the probiotic stuff. That's where sparkling comes in for me. All right. Well, the other one I'll mention is Blender Bottle, because I just have this right here.
Nice.
So these are really aluminum.
Man, you've got like a plethora of liquid refreshments around you. You've got your Rich Insights, you got your Blender Bottle, you got Mountain Valley, you got GTs. I'm surprised you can make an hour without having to go to the bathroom. Either that or you've got a Porta-John underneath you there. I'm not sure what's going on. That's crazy.
No, that's my next stuff we love is a supplement that helps with your bladder. So you can store more in your bladder. It's called P Less. It's available at Sprouts. I'm just messing. Yeah. All right, so let's go to our next segment here, which is called Friday Freebies.
Friday Freebies.
All right. So as mentioned, and we're going to mention also our ongoing sponsors. So Wade, do you want the ongoing or do you want this week's?
I've got this week's queued up, so you do the ongoing, and I'll put the link up. How's that?
Sounds good. All right. So our ongoing sponsor is VDriven, VDRIVEN.com. And then we have Luke Abbott, LUKE.Abbott, ABBOTT at VDriven.com. And they're basically a CPG partner for emerging purpose-driven brands. And they fuel growth and innovation. They provide strategies and support in every phase of the retail journey, from leadership coaching, brand management, accounting, sales strategy, day-to-day tactical support, trade spend, deduction fighting, end-to-end solution for your brand's business needs. Their leadership team has decades of real-life experience. I mean, Luke himself ran a distribution company, which then sold to KeHE. He was also the CEO of Jimbo's, and then he also worked at KeHE as well. So he has a plethora. Him alone, not even counting the rest of his team, which are also highly talented, have a lot of experience. And then he has his own podcast, Reconnected, and he's going to have a very special guest for his next episode. So we'll love to announce that once that is live. I won't spoil the surprise.
Well, and beyond all that, he's a good guy. And yeah, so far he's had Jimbo. I was on there. Monica Coyle, and Jonathan Lawrence from Fresh Time was on. I actually listened to that episode last week, and it was great. You learn a lot more about Jonathan and Fresh Time, and kind of I've enjoyed every episode so far, and I'm not just saying that because I was on as a guest. Every episode has been really, really good, so definitely check that out.
100%.
All right, so I got this week's sponsor, which we heard from earlier. That is Better Sour. I just put the link up in the chat. But Better Sour is an award-winning sour candy company founded by Iranian-American, lifelong best friends from Hawaii. They're dedicated to celebrating tart fruit flavors from around the world. Their 1.8-ounce bags are vegan and free from any artificial flavors or colors, and have just 60 calories and 3 grams of sugar per bag. Proudly WBENC certified and minority owned. So again, the prize is going to be a 10-pack of each flavor, and I'm looking at the flavors now. So they have a guava tangy, calamansi citrusy, and ume tart in one package, and the other package has apricot zippy, pomegranate tangy, and plum tart in it. So some very unique flavors, and they are tantalizing, globally inspired sour flavors from the Middle East to the Asia Pacific. So good stuff, and we're going to give those away now, right?
Yep. Yes, we are. I do have the question teed up.
I was hoping you would do that.
Yep. So let me actually, I have it as a note here. So Samira was talking about how long that she's been working with Pod Foods. How long was that, to be exact?
Well, we're waiting for answers. Alex, what are you up to this weekend?
Well, tomorrow, playing golf. So I'm playing at the beautiful Lakewood Country Club, which is no longer a country club. It's actually public now, but it sounds nice. And then Sunday, nope. Someone said, so not 1 year. Nope. It's what Samira first said. It might have been corrected, but it was what she first said. So, and then also the Genesis Invitational is at the Palisades. It's the big tournament with Tiger Woods in it. So we're going on Sunday to check it out in the Palisades.
So we might have to talk about that because she's, Tom said 2 years.
Oh, Tom said 2 years.
And she corrected him. It was 1.
Okay.
They've only been out. So now
the 1 year, because we said, what did Samira say?
So yeah, Samira is correct, obviously. So let me look on the LinkedIn here and see who that winner was, because I know it's kind of difficult.
Tiger bailed.
See it in there.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Crap. I got my tickets refunded. Bad back, right? Back spasms. Yeah, so I think 1 year. So originally Tom said 2, Samira said 1.
So the winner was Michael Porte who's I
See
think he
it.
shows up there as LinkedIn
Dewey's
user.
Bakery. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, Dewey's Bakery right here.
Love Dewey's.
Dewey's is right in my neck of the woods, a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yeah.
So, Michael, you're the winner. You can email cpgvibe100@gmail.com to claim your prize. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Michael and then Lewis and then Rich. They were all back to back to back, but Michael was first. So, congratulations, Michael.
It's just that some of that sugar in that cookie just kind of boom, like made them act a little faster, right? That's delicious Dewey cookies. And they're actually, yeah, I see them around here too. They're everywhere. They're pretty ubiquitous.
Yeah, great
So-
stuff. Great
so
stuff.
they're,
Great
East-
partners.
East Coast, right?
Headquartered in
Headquartered.
Winston-Salem. I was just there,
Right there.
in the fall. Yeah, literally 15 minutes away, if that. So
Damn, you
from where I'm sitting right now. So
You should pay them a little visit and bring, some Ziploc baggies just to take them to go.
I did just that when I visited their office. Like I said, I think it was I don't know. So it was late summer or early fall when I was over there. So great
Nice.
stuff. Yeah.
You're at a huge advantage being over there near that facility. I'm near GT Kombucha's facility in Vernon, but they won't let me anywhere near the door. They'll see
Yeah.
me a mile away with AI, the GT Dave's AI machine, and be like, "That guy, don't let him through the gate. He's going to raid us."
Yeah.
So
there's the website there for
Oh.
Dewey's. So yep.
So what are you doing this weekend?
I think probably get out and do a little bit of something. I haven't checked the weather for the extended forecast for the weekend, but probably do a little bit outside. We are going to. I will be watching a little bit of the NBA All-Star festivities. I'm always a fan of that. So we got the 3-point contest, the slam dunk contest, all that fun stuff tomorrow, and then the actual game is on Sunday. So probably get into that a little bit and see what's up.
Yeah, and it's most importantly, relax, right, and get your
Exactly.
mind just centered on the recreation and having fun.
Yep, it's been a long week, so we're ready to wrap her up and have a little bit of fun and recoup to start it all over again. So
100%.
Yep.
All right. So next week we're going to be back, which is February 23rd. The sponsor for next week is Guru Energy. Speaking of, they just fresh off their launch in Costco. I'm actually going to go over to Costco today and take some pictures and send it over to the Guru team so they can check it out. So I'll do some merchandising for them on the floor. It's pretty easy to spot product at Costco. You can't really miss a pallet of Guru Energy. Pretty big,
Right.
and great branding. So,
but they don't want to be left out, though. That's the sponsor next week. But if someone else would like to sponsor the future episode of the show,
yep,
that's what you do right there. Email cpgvibes100@gmail.com. We'll get you on the list, and as the ratings keep going up, it's getting more and more exposure. So it's a win-win across the board.
100%. Yep. And our votes all-time high, our ratings 215. We thank you again, and so keep the reviews coming for sure. And okay, so next week 2:30, 5:30 Eastern, same place, same time, and everyone have a wonderful and healthy weekend. Take good care. Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.